Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and welcome to another bookish video. Hello friends, it is now the end of March, so that means it is time to play my Owl Choose Your TBR game for the month of April. And also an exciting thing that is also happening in April is that I am participating in Realmathon, which is a monthly readathon hosted by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. It is a very fun readathon. I also participated in it last year and had a lot of fun. And I will post her channel and the video down below. So you can, if you don't know what it is already, you can check it out and see if you want to join in all the fun, because it is definitely not too late. But we are going to go ahead and play my TBR game, and then at the end, I'm also going to go through my Realmathon TBR and other books that are on my TBR that will be priority reads. But first, let's start my TBR game. Okay, so we are gonna do the first roll for my Owl Choose Your TBR game. And if you don't know much about this game, or if this is the first time watching my TBR, this is my new monthly TBR game. This is the second time I'm doing this. And I can leave a link to the first TBR game I did with more info on how it is played. But basically I just roll, and what I land on determines which jar I get. But let's go ahead and do the first roll. So I got a 6, a 7. 6, 7. All right, so I got light purple. And light purple is the A to Z prompts. So A to Z, the title has to start with that letter. So let's see which letter I get. Hopefully it's a good one. All right, and I got K. So let's see if I can find a book that starts with K. Okay, I am back after I did my first roll, and I got a light purple prompt or jar, and that's the A to Z prompt, and I got the letter K. And for that, I am gonna choose the book Culty by Mariana Zapata. This will be my first Mariana Zapata book, and this will be perfect for the readathon, because I forgot to mention, but Realmathon has 4 different teams, and I chose the team Cyrus, and that is the romance team. So this will definitely get me points for that team. And I've been wanting to read this for a while now, so I'm very excited that I am able to put it on my April TBR. Let's go roll the second roll. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the second roll. I got 5 and a 3, so 8. Okay, so that is yellow, the light yellow. So that is title prompts. So let's see what I will get. All right. Sorry, I gotta... So I got girl, boy, or that's like also like woman in the title or man in the title. So I will go ahead and try to find a book with that in the title. Hello, I am back again after my second roll. And for the second roll, I got a light yellow prompt, and that was title prompt. And for that, I got try to find a book with girl or boy or woman or man in the title. And for that, I'm going to choose The Midnight Girls by Alicia Jasinska. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I believe this is a YA fantasy romance, and I believe it is sapphic. And I don't know too much about it, but I've had it on my TBR for a while, and it sounds really good. And the blurb on the back makes it even sound better. It says, two monstrous girls, one heart to consume, and a rivalry that could cost them everything. So that little blurb sounds like it'll be really good and exciting. And I believe it's a fantasy romance, so it will get me some points. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and do our third roll. 7. Another light yellow. Right, and I got a color in the title. Okay, I will go ahead and try to find a book with a color in the title. Okay, I am back after my third roll, and I landed on the light yellow prompt again, which is again title prompt. And I got try to get a book with a color in the title. And I chose Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is a sapphic romance like rom-com, and I've had this on my TBR for a very long time, and I've heard nothing but like great things about this book. So I am very excited to add it to my April TBR, and this will also get me quite a bit of the romance points for Cyrus that I need. So I'm very excited to add it to my TBR for that reason as well. Let's go ahead and do our fourth roll. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do our fourth roll. And we got a 14. All right, another light yellow, so a title prompt again. Let's see what we get this time. All right, war in the title. All right, let's try to find a book with war in the title. All right, I am back on, we just did the fourth roll and landed on another light yellow prompt title, which is a title prompt. And this time we got war in the title. And for that, I am going to choose Lovely War by Julia Berry. I believe this is like a historical like romance, like that is based on the Greek gods. And I've had this on my TBR for a really long time, and I've had it on many like monthly TBRs, and I just hadn't never had the time, or never got around to it. So I am definitely hopeful that I will get to it in the month of April, now that it is a priority read. And I am pretty sure this will definitely get me points for Realmathon. But yeah, I am very excited to read this because it sounds good and I've heard really good things about it. So I'm excited to add it to my April TBR. Okay, it is time to do our 5th roll. We got a 9. All right, so this time we got a bright yellow, which is a genre prompt. Let's hope I get either like fantasy or romance, but we will see. Perfect. I got romance, and that means like any, so it can be any, like it can be like fantasy romance or like historical romance, so any type of romance book. So that is perfect for Realmathon. Okay, I am back after doing my 5th roll, and this time I got the bright yellow, and that was a genre prompt, and I got any romance book. And for that, I'm gonna choose Loathe to Love You, which is a bind up of the Ali Hazelwood novellas. And I am very excited to be able to add this to my TBR for this game. I was already planning on reading these for Realmathon during the peace talks. So I am very excited to be able to add this to my TBR for this game. I read The Love Hypothesis and love that one. And I do still also have need to read Love on the Brain. And I also might try to read that for Realmathon as well. But yeah, for this prompt, I'm choosing the bind up of these novellas. And I definitely plan on getting to these during the Peace Talks weekend. Very excited to read these. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and do what will most likely be the last roll. So let's go ahead. And it's a 14. So yes, that is definitely was the last roll, and the last book I showed you was the last book. So I am gonna go ahead and go over the 5 books that will be on my Owl Choose Your TBR game TBR. Okay, I am back. So I am done with my Owl Choose Your TBR game. So let's just go over the 5 books that I ended up picking again. So for the title that starts with K, I chose Culty by Mariana Zapata. For a book with the word girl or boy or woman, man on the title, I chose The Midnight Girls by Alicia Jasingsa. I promise I'll try to get that right. And then for a color in a title, I chose Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Blake. And then for the word war in the title, I chose Lovely War by Julie Berry. And then for a romance book, I chose Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. I am very excited to add these to my TBR. And these will definitely get me points for Realmathon. But I also want to go over a couple books that are on my TBR for April as priority reads, and also I want to go over books that are on my Realmathon TBR. Okay, so I'm gonna go over my Realmathon TBR, But first, I also wanted to mention that I will be adding Our Wife's Under the Sea by Julia Armfield on my April TBR because it is Katie's from at Katie Colson's Patreon buddy read pick for the month of April. And I am very excited to read this one. I've heard really good things about it. And yeah. It was on a lot of people's best book of the year for 2022. So I am very excited to add it to that. She has it as a buddy read for April, and I'm very excited to read it. Okay, now I am going to go over the books that I have on my Realmathon TBR, and these books are just ones I'm hoping to get to. They are not set in stone or anything. They are just ones that where I've like looked at the prompts and everything, and they are like they're on the top of my like TBR, so I thought I'd add them to my Realmathon TBR. So let's go ahead and go over those real quick. All right, the first book that I want to mention is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I know this isn't a romance book, and I'm on the romance team, but it is a host favorite. So this will definitely get me points for that, and I've been wanting to read this book for a really long time. It'll be my first Brandon Sanderson book, and I've heard nothing but really good things about Brandon Sanderson, so I'm very glad that I'm finally going to be getting to this one in April, hopefully. And I've heard this is a really good one to start with. So yeah, I'm hopeful I can get to this for April and for Realmathon. Okay, next I'm going to go over the contemporary romance books that I have on my on the Realmathon TBR. The first one I want to go is By a Thread by Lucy Score. This is a workplace romance following Dominique and Allie. It's like a kind of like a rivals or enemies to lovers situation in a work environment. And I've heard this is really good, and there's a lot of good like banter in it. And this will definitely get me romance points for Realmathon, so I'm excited to add this one. Next, I have Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I've loved every other Tessa Bailey book that I have read so far, and I've heard mixed things about this one, but I still definitely want to give this one a try. It's called Secretly Yours, and it definitely gives me spring vibes, so I definitely think this will be perfect for the month of April, and it'll also get me the romance points for Realmathon. Next, I have Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I read Things We Never Got Over last year by Lucy Score, and I love that one. And I'm very excited to finally get to this one. And again, this cover gives off really good spring vibes, and it's romance, so it'll definitely get me points for Realmathon. And then the next two I have are Triple Duty Bodyguards and Nanny for the Neighbors by Lily Gold. I read her other two books like a couple months ago, and I love them. They were a lot of fun, and I am very excited to hopefully get to these next two because yeah, I've had just so much fun reading her books, and I hope I enjoy these ones as well. And of course, these will definitely get me points for Cyrus during Realmathon. Okay, next I want to talk about a couple of the romantic suspense books that that are hopefuls for Realmathon, and also one dark romance. The first one is Whispers of You by Catherine Cowles. This is part of the Lost and Found series, and this is definitely a romantic suspense book. The blurb definitely got me intrigued. It says, "One night, a single bullet cost me everything." So yeah, definitely suspense. Sounds like it'll be suspenseful. So yeah, I am very excited to hopefully get to this one for Realmathon. It looks like it'll be really good. Next, I have another Lucy Score book, and that is Forever Never. This is another romantic suspense. I'm pretty sure, but the blurb doesn't say, it doesn't really show that it is romantic suspense, but I'll read it anyway. It says, "You don't fall for your brother's high school sweetheart, your boss's daughter, or your ex-wife's best friend, especially when they're all the same woman." Yeah, this sounds like it'll be really good. So yeah, I'm hopeful that I can try to fit it in for Realmathon. And then the next book is a sequel, and it's like a dark romance. I'm not sure if it's suspenseful or anything, but it is Vipers and Virtuouses by Sav R. Miller. I read Promises and Pomegranates and had that one was really pretty good. And this follows Aiden and Riley. And these are also I believe each book is also loosely based off of Greek gods, they're Greek retellings. Not sure which one this one follows. But yeah, I'm very excited to continue on with this series, and this will definitely get me points for Team Cyrus. Okay, next up I want to go over the biggest stack that I have of hopefuls for Realmathon, and that is the fantasy romance category. And as you can see, the first book that I have is A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the second book in the Flesh and Fire books, which is a prequel series to the From Blood and Ash series, which I loved. It's one of my favorites, and I still love them even in the later books. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, I loved the first book in this prequel series, and I'm very excited to definitely I will try to make this a priority for Realmathon because I've been wanting to read it for a while. I just keep putting it off, and I don't know why. But yeah, I'm very excited to add this to the Realmathon TBR. Next book I have is a newer addition to my TBR, and that is When a Moth Loved a Bee by Pepper Winters. It's a fantasy romance, and I just was reading the first couple pages, and I just noticed the writing was so beautiful, and I feel like it's the lyrical writing. But yeah, it sounds like it'll be really good, and I'm excited to hopefully get to this one in April as well. Next, I have a Game of Malice and Greed, and then a little novella, Kingdom of Gods and Ruin. I believe you read the novella before you read this book. But this is a new fantasy romance series by Caroline Pegman and Suzanne Valenti, which they wrote the Zodiac Academy series, which I also love and is also one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get to this in April and use these to get the points for Realmathon. And this one is short enough that I could definitely add this to my TBR for P-Stocks. And then, speaking of Zodiac Academy, I have Zodiac Academy Sorrow and Starlight here. Is book 8, in the Zodiac Academy series. I don't know why I have kept putting this off. I think it's because I know it'll probably break my heart, just like the other books have. And I know there's also a 9th book coming still, so I think that'll be the final book. I hope it'll be the final book, and we'll get these characters will finally get their happy ending, hopefully. But yeah, I'm very excited to hopefully finally get to this for Realmathon in the month of April. All right, the next book I have is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. It's a fantasy romance book that I heard around on YouTube. I heard it on the channel, on Rachel's channel, The Raven-Haired Reader. And she loved this book. So I hope I can get to this in April, and I hope I love it as well. It sounds like it will be really good. I like the little blurb at the top. Captured by a king of darkness, forced to find the light within. It sounds like it'll be really good, and it definitely sounds like something that I will love. Next, I have another book that I saw on Rachel's channel, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Rachel really loves all of Broadbent's books, and she like raves about them all. And this one in particular I heard her talking about, so I am very excited to hopefully finally get to this one as well. I've had it on my TBR ever since I heard her first talk about it, and yeah, I hopefully will get to this one for Realmathon in April. The next book I have is Song of the Forever Rains by E.J. Mello. It's another fantasy romance. It's the little blurb says, beware when the songbird sings. So I believe like the magic like has to do with like music. So yeah, it sounds really good. I first saw this on KU. But then I bought a physical copy of it. It sounds like it'll be really good. So hopefully I can try to get this in the month of April as well. Then I have The Song of the Mark by S.M. Gaither. This is a first in I think it's 5 books out right now. It's a romantic fantasy series. It sounds like it'll be really good, and I've heard some good things about it here on BookTube. But yeah, hopefully I can maybe get to this for Realmathon as well. And then next up I have A Throne of Ruin by K.F. Breen. This is the sequel to A Ruin of Roses, which is it's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I love the first book. I just have been like putting this one off for some reason. I don't know why. I just have been really bad with continuing series lately. But yeah, hopefully I can get to this one in April, because I'm very excited to continue on with this series. And then the last book I have is another sequel, and that is Lord of Gold and Glory by Lisette Marshall. I love the first book in this series. I'm blanking on the name. If I remember, I'll put the cover of the first book up here. But yeah, I love the first book in this series, and I heard this book gets better as it goes on, or series gets better as it goes on. So hopefully I can get to this in April as well. Okay, so those were all the books that I hopefully can get to for Realmathon. It's definitely a lot, and I definitely don't plan on reading all of those in the month of April, because that would be impossible with my busy life. But yeah, hopefully I get to a lot of them, and hopefully I can read some really good books in the month of April and get some points for the team Cyrus. Very excited to add very excited for the 5 books that I have on my Owl Choose Your TBR game TBR as well. And yeah, hopefully I read some good books and I get out of my reading slump I have been in. I totally failed at my other my TBR for the month of March. So hopefully month of April gets better and I read a lot of good books. Okay, thank you so much for watching my April TBR. I really hope to get to all of these in the month of April. And again, I am very excited for Realmathon in the month of April as well. And if you haven't joined, definitely join. I'm gonna put the link in the description down below if you don't already know about it. But again, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.